There was so much back and forth here between the Senate Intelligence Committee and Michael Flynn. What has he finally decided or agreed to turn over?
Well, that's the big question. I was speaking with several sources familiar with the investigation in Congress who have said that they really believe this is going to come down hard, David, on General Flynn, simply because there seems to be a firestorm of questions, and where there's smoke, there's fire, according to one source I spoke with earlier today, particularly with his business dealings in Turkey. And I think that as this continues to evolve and more information comes to the forefront, his involvement with with Turkish government officials, his consulting work with Turkey, as well as those groups' relationships with Russia and Russia finances, Russia banks. I think all of this is only going to continue to come out. It's worth noting that there are a host of inquiries coming from several lawmakers, including Republicans. And of course, CNN right now reporting that James Comey, former FBI director, will be testifying next week for the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee. I just spoke with the source just moments ago who on the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee, David, who told me that that had been the plan all along in terms of a timetable for Mr. Comey to testify. He's eager to talk to the public, according to my reporting.
Chris Strohm, Kevin Cirilli, they're talking about that evolution, what we're learning about the business dealings that Michael Flynn had with Turkey and other governments. What do we know about his business, what he was doing here before he was named to be National Security Advisor?
Well, there's two businesses that Michael Flynn set up. It's Flynn Intel and a Flynn LLC. And the thing that the Senate Intelligence Committee is looking at is the business dealings of these two entities. And so what they've done is they've sent a subpoena for the business records that Flynn has agreed to produce. They also sent him a subpoena for personal records. And on that front, Flynn was initially resistant, but I've been told now that he's agreed to turn over some documents on a rolling basis, and that's going to start on June 6th.
Kevin, what have we heard from Michael Flynn in recent weeks since he left that position? Has he been pretty quiet? What have we learned from him over these last few weeks?
David, he's been quiet publicly, but privately, according to my reporting, he is still talking to some folks within President Trump's own political orbit. He is someone who is perceived within the president's political culture of folks to be someone who is, quite frankly, still in good standing with the president himself. Every time that President Trump mentions his name, he has said that he believes General Flynn got a raw deal or that he's a good person. That is seen as a signal, David, that the president still supports General Flynn despite this firestorm of accusations. Now, he's since been more quiet about the general, but you know, I think that in terms of Flynn Intel, I think that there's a lot there, and I think more is going to come out. And I think that General Flynn's relationship, particularly with Turkey, particularly with what type of video material he was consulting on with Turkish government officials, all of that and the financing of that is something that is going to be a key focus of any investigation, both in the intelligence community as well as congressional inquiries.
Hey, Chris, how much has this investigation, the Senate Intelligence Committee investigation, changed since the appointment of Robert Mueller to look into these matters as a special investigator? We heard from CNN, from Eric Lischblau at the investigative team at CNN just moments ago, that James Comey has agreed to testify, again, according to CNN, having consulted with Bob Mueller. Is the Intelligence Committee continuing apace, or is it taking on a different role now that there's a special investigation in process?
Well, it's changed in a couple of ways. One of the focuses that it's really kind of emphasizing now is on the business dealings of Trump associates, whether it's Michael Flynn or whether it's Paul Manafort. But the other level is that the committee is being careful in terms of how it's proceeding because of the appointment of Bob Mueller to be as special counsel. And so now the committee is in the position of wanting to do its investigation, but also not jeopardizing the criminal investigation that Mueller is conducting. And so that's why you've seen some of the back and forth that's gone on with Comey. Originally, Comey was going to testify as early as possible, and that was put on hold as Comey negotiated with Mueller in terms of what he would be able to say. And now, apparently, the agreement has been reached where Comey will testify. It remains to be seen exactly what he'll say. It also remains to be seen how much access the Senate Intelligence Committee or the House Intelligence Committee is going to get to the Comey memos or to internal FBI documents regarding their investigation. So you still have these separate tracks that are ongoing.
Kevin, let me ask you lastly about one of President Trump's personal lawyers. That's Michael Cohen. He refused to testify, refused to give over documents, kind of cited some narrowness to, or wanting some narrowness more to the subpoena that, or the request that was made of him. What do these lawmakers want to hear from Michael Cohen going forward?
They want disclosures. Yesterday, David, I spoke last night I spoke with Mr. Cohen on the telephone. Of course, he is President Trump's personal attorney, someone who, of course, now also has dealings with the Republican Party in terms of fundraising. He said that as of now, he has not been subpoenaed, but that if he was issued a subpoena, that he would comply. There is a feeling within the president's political surroundings that really no one is safe, and that everyone is going to be called upon to provide financial disclosures, everyone, including cabinet level officials such as Secretary Wilbur Ross, to the president's own personal attorney. But right now, there is also a sense that the criticism surrounding the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, that this perhaps provides some type of political cover when other people are getting subpoenaed or being questioned. And it's not just Michael Cohen. We should also note that Boris Epstein has also been facing a firestorm of questions as well.